ye a lot of the time. All right. Ha ye. Instead of yeehaw, ha ye. Exactly. Just gotta say it a lot. And if Sam questions you for any reason, you say yeedle skeedle, okay? All you gotta say. Ha ye. Any questions, you say yeedle skeedle. And that's it. That's all you gotta say. Can't say anything else. If you fail this task, then Sam gets back her toe privileges. Also, that is the worst plan of all time because literally I can't think of anything else. Oh my gosh, I should. Well, okay. So, also, last night. I just realized this is pretty loud. Let me turn this down right here. Okay. There. This should be a lot better for you guys. I don't know if things are still loud for you guys or not, so let me know. The Elgato audio is a little bit funky, so just let me know if how it sounds and so on. So, anywho, when it comes to so yesterday, Sam and I, also when I got home from work, we played just a little bit of Dead by Daylight because she was struggling with some solo queue stuff because things are just going tits up just every game. And the last game that we played that night, I think we only played 3, but the last game was ridiculous. And that person can go fuck themselves who was in that game. What happened was we were up against a huntress who was running iridescent hatchets. Could not throw hatchets worth a damn. Like, she was bad at throwing hatchets. She point blank missed me with the Eerie hatchet. Just let it be known. Point blank missed. However, so the person decides to tunnel Sam out of the game. And I'm just like, well, okay, this sucks. And then I'm just kind of chilling and doing gens and everything, but I haven't like been hooked at all. And then the person then decides to just like kind of just tunnels one of the other like one of the randoms out of the game. So just me and another random. This motherfucker tried so hard to convince the other random to sell me out. Literally spent probably like 10 minutes like picking up and dropping the random to like try to get them to see where I was, and then so that way they could see where I was, and then that way they can like point to where it was at and so on and so forth. And like both Sam and I were like, oh, this sucks. So I'm just kind of like walking around. It's a huntress, so I have like no, I fully believe that huntress had like Iron Maiden. She didn't, but it's a huntress, so most of the time it's Iron Maiden. In that game. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. It's not super important. What is important is that finally she gets fed up with the random and hooks her. And I just don't think too much of it because I'm like, why are you just trying to sell out the why are you trying to sell me out? Like, because if you have a perk called barbecue and chili, which means that you should be able to see where I am, because I'm not going to go into a locker because it's a huntress in that game. What is going on? I'm glad you like the battle cheese. Anywho, so like, I was like, oh, I guess like she doesn't have barbecue and chili, so I should be fine just walking around. She gets hooked. I don't really have to worry about too much. She heads straight for me, had barbecue and chili. And I was like, are you a moron? You went through all that trouble, yet you had the one thing that could easily find me. So you just, and I didn't want to give him like a kill at all, so I just DC'd. And they tried to like make fun of me, but me and Sam both reamed into the guy. Did not hold back. But I don't know, Dead by Daylight players, man. A lot of them are stupid. All right, I'm going to, let's back up a little bit. It's time for the next part of this quest. She's gonna have to tell me if it's too loud, too quiet, or anything, because once again, the Elgato volume is a little bit off base. I apologize for that.
That figure on the wharf! It looks like Kazuha!
Kazuha's here! Our favorite animal boyo. My favorite one. At least. What up, Kazuha?
Greetings, Traveler and Paimon. I heard there would be guides for the Iridori Festival, but I didn't expect it would be you two.
Hello!
We didn't expect to see you either! Returning as a guest for the Iridori Festival, no doubt.
I was a little surprised myself when I received the invitation. But after wandering the outside world for so long, it's good to have an opportunity to return to my homeland and pay respects to my old friends.
Kazuha, when we saw you in the distance just now, you seemed to be looking for something. What happened?
Paimon, when did you become so fluent?
Ah, yes. You see, when I came off the boat with everyone just now, I suddenly heard light footsteps around me.
Of course.
I could tell they were not footsteps of a regular passenger. But by the time I turned around, the person had already disappeared. I only heard a splash come from below the pier. Even though I didn't manage to catch a glimpse of them, I found this strange piece of paper by my feet.
Oh, does the paper happen to have a poem written on it?
It's our ninja person, who I think is Shinobu,
How did you know?
but I think somebody accidentally told me who it was. Let's tell Kazuha what's going on.
Fascinating. It's almost hard to believe such things could happen.
Can you show us that piece of paper?
Sure. Here it is. Please, have a look.
The 5 cause and splendor, Akihito. Long have been famed, and since my youth I had great ambition. I stamped every new verse with a scarlet seal, and thus was I known to all. Last year when we presented our verses, mine was found to be taken from poets past. For the theft and deception I was banished into the wilderness. The 5 radiant lights never shall be again. Ah, how the tides do shift.
Last time, Aoi no Okina's poem ended with a reference to Akihito. And sure enough, this is a story about him. The story this time basically says that Akihito got his name from his love of red seals. However, the shogun discovered that he had committed plagiarism, and he was soon exiled.
Don't plagiarize.
Well,
Don't plagiarize.
if Paimon were to rate today's story, it sounds pretty unfortunate.
Well, the other stories weren't much better
I
either.
don't think there's anything particularly wrong with this story. I too was once wanted as a criminal by the shogunate, so I'm not all that different from Akihito mentioned in this story.
But according to the story, Akihito was exiled by the shogun because of his wrongdoings. You did nothing wrong, Kazuha.
Yeah, he kinda did, but it's in the shogun's eyes.
Traveler, what are you thinking about?
The seal mentioned could it help
By the
Zincho?
way, you mentioned that your friend has been struggling because he's unable to sign his name quickly, right?
Yep, that's correct.
In Liyue and Inazuma, there is a saying, that which has been stamped has also been signed. Perhaps using a seal could be a feasible solution. While sailing at sea, I sometimes carve things to pass the time. If you wish to create a stamp for his seal, I might be able to help.
Dude, I forgot how great a character Kazuha is.
That's an idea. Quick, let's go tell Albedo.
I always forget how like awesome of a character Kazuha is. Kazuha's just dapper AF. Like Kazuha's just chilling most of the time. It's nice that Kazuha's back though, because like Kazuha's gotta be like one of the best characters. Yeah. What about Frito?
Albedo, we figured out a way to help Shincho.
I can't say his name, okay?
Interesting. A story of the 5 Kasen appears again, and with a timely solution. A stamped seal, huh? Let me think. Indeed, it is an efficient solution. If we use a stamp, then Shincho won't have to struggle with his handwriting anymore. However,
Prideful enough?
since Shincho's signature has been previously revealed to the readers, it would seem insincere if he only used the stamped seal for his new books.
That's fair.
But I have another idea. Using a seal is a part of it, of course. Let's go to Ouya Restaurant now to discuss my idea with everyone.
Oh, was it using the seal, but the seal is actually his signature? That might be what this is. We might be using the seal, but the seal is actually Jingzhou's Xingqia's signature. I can't say his name. I'm sorry. Zhenhu. I know how to say that. I know how to say that. I can't say the other name. I'm bad. Wait, where's the boy? Where's the boy? Sorry, miss. I have to push you over. I need to find Jesus. It's a lot of books.
Yes, that's it, Zhenyu. Your writing has greatly improved today, which means yesterday's intensive training was effective.
Hirayama, you're scary.
My apologies, but I simply can't do it anymore. My hands are so sore that I can't even move them anymore. I should have known better than to read novels during calligraphy class.
You just had a 10-minute break. Come on, you can do this.
Hirayama, you're an asshole.
When it comes to pushing a deadline, there's no one more brutal than Mr. Hirayama.
No wonder Lady Yai would always send the editorial director to handle troublesome authors.
Whoa, this is getting scary. It hasn't even been that long and Shincho's already zombified.
Jeez, your boy's dying.
Mr. Hirayama, we found a solution that might just solve our dilemma. In both Liyue and Inazuma, seals are widely used as the equivalents of a signature. If we use a stamp to leave the author's seal on the books, then we could make the signature process a lot easier. Of course, a seal on its own is not enough. So, I propose that each signature consists of 2 parts.
I also love the fact that a lot of 5-star characters and
First,
1 4-star.
We'll use a personalized seal. We can simply carve one using Chenyu's signature as the design. In addition, I'll also design a simple but elegant pattern that's easy for Chenyu to write. That way, he will only need to draw a simple pattern on each book.
That's easy. True.
Let me think.
But once again, I literally went on a rant about this. Like, I don't have the note card anymore. Note card's missing. Like, how signatures work and everything, where you just, like, it doesn't need to be perfect. It really doesn't.
All right, I think that would work. Not only does it still involve the author's own handwriting, but the result should be very beautiful as well.
So, what you mean to say is, I've been saved from this predicament?
Yes.
Mr. Hirayama, it suddenly occurred to me that the reason we gave up on live book signings previously was because it would take too long for the author to sign each book. But if we adopted Calx's proposed method, we might have enough time to do signatures at the live event.
That's true.
And if all the authors signed their books in the same fashion, then Genyu's signature wouldn't look out of place.
That's also true. Onodera. Great character.
If you think it's feasible, I would certainly be happy to design signatures for the other authors as well.
Why are all the characters in this game so great?
Yes, and you may leave carving the stamps to me.
In that case, I shall contact the other 2 authors participating in the new release event.
Wait, who's the other 2 authors?
It is a great honor to use a
those two.
signature designed by Calx.
My pen name is quite complicated and isn't suitable for signing events. However, if we implement this new format, then it'll be a dream come true for me as well.
Kata Nokoji Kenzaburo. That makes sense. Why you probably... Yeah, that checks out. That checks out.
With the idea.
I'm sorry to have kept you busy for so long, Jinyu. Please, take the next few days to have a good rest. We'll handle everything from here.
Albedo and Kazuha getting along.
The books that
Adorable.
Jinyu
I
already
love it
signed
that
can
all
be
the
used as
characters
special
are
prizes in future
meshing.
events held by the Eye Publishing House.
We did it. The event is saved.
Thanks to everyone's efforts, Onodera and I are finally free of that mess.
That's right! You're finally free, Shincho! Maybe you should step outside for some fresh air!
His name is Jinyu. Don't call him by his real name if that's the case. Like, listen, you gotta call by the pen name. Everyone calls him by pen name. You don't... It's Calx and Jinyu. Jeez.
We still have some time to burn. Where should we go next?
Oh, the friend. Oh, those people just showed up. And Venti and Ayaka.
Traveler, there you are.
Yay, it's Ayaka. Hi, Ayaka.
Oh, it's Ayaka! And Venti! That's an interesting combo.
Yeah, that is 100% interesting. Venti, what the fuck are you doing with Ayaka?
I was just going
Ayaka.
to the festival venue to prepare the Ikebana lesson when I found a strange piece of paper on a flower stand. This bard just happened to be close by at the time. He informed me that you've also found similar papers recently. As such, we came together to find you two.
It's fair.
But the paper she found isn't quite the same as the ones we found before. Here's the paper. Please have a look.
The 5 cause and splendor, Sumizome. I submerged the verses into clear water, and the truth did emerge. Huh.
Huh. All the poems we found before were roughly the same length. But this one is only 2 lines.
And even though there are only 2 short sentences, neither of them are next to the title or centered on the page. The position of the writing seems to indicate that there is other content written on this paper besides these 2 lines.
If we take the poem literally, it reads, "Dip this paper in water and see the truth naturally appear." Speaking of which, I have an ancient text at home, specializing in ancient and exotic stories. It mentions a special ink that will show itself when wet and disappear when it's dry.
That's invisible ink for you. That's pretty much how that works in a
Shall
nutshell.
we give it a whirl? It just so happens that there's a pond nearby.
How did Venti find Ayaka? Also, is Venti and A going to meet up at some point? Like when is everyone gonna get together? Also, who's our mysterious ninja? Is it Shinobu? It better be Shinobu.
Wow, look! It's really working! More words have appeared on the paper! Let Paimon see what it says.
Going over his poetry, I found that the plagiarized piece did not have a scarlet seal. I submerged the verses into clear water and the truth did emerge. The true verses were not washed away, but the text of that despicable crime faded. Aoi no Okina passed me by, just as he was writing a verse for Akihito. One storm had yet to settle, and it was already time to write new poems.
The story says that after Sumizomi got the collection of poems from Akihito and put them into a stream of water...
By the way, can we all just comment on the fact that there are currently 5 vision users, 4 vision users, an Archon with a fake vision, and the Traveler all here together with Paimon in a circle? This is the most characters I think we've ever seen together in one place. And I know that I'm blocking Kazuha, so let me hide myself real quick. But like, look at this. This is so cool. I really hope we can see more characters all together in the future. I really do.
The plagiarized words in the poem became blurry.
I agree, Cheese. 100%.
Why would that happen?
You see, Paimon, in the past, when printing was not yet well developed, handwritten text could easily become smudged in books when exposed to moisture. To ensure the text lasted longer, they'd either write using a special ink or coat the paper's surface with a waterproof coating once the writing was finished. Such special inks are time-consuming and laborious to produce, and the waterproof coating could also prove just as difficult. However, since Akihito's poetry collection was an important gift to be presented to the shogun, surely one of those 2 methods was used to protect it.
That's fair, yeah, no, that makes sense.
But as for the plagiarized poems, not only would they lack Akihito's seal, But the words would also react differently when exposed to liquid.
So this poem wasn't written by Akihito.
Which means Akihito didn't plagiarize his work. He was set up.
Yes, it appears that this is the truth that Sumizome's story is trying to convey. Although the story is saddening, I've decided on the subjects to use for Akihito and Sumizome's portraits.
Pretty sure that's Kazuha and Ayaka, right?
Kazuha, Ayaka, would you be willing to be the models for my paintings?
I would be delighted.
Yes, as would I.
There you go.
They're all friends. I love
Should be
this.
ready in no time.
I love this so much.
Yes. And now that all 4 stories have all been collected, the story of the 5 Kasen is now fully completed.
Long ago, Inazuma had 5 legendary poets. People bestowed upon them the title of the 5 Kasen.
One year, the poet Suiko made his way to Tenshukaku and presented the Kasen's work for the shogun's perusal. But a page from the works of Aoi no Okina had been torn out, and Suiko was questioned regarding the matter. Suiko pleaded guilty. He admitted to drinking at the tavern the night before, and vaguely recalled a mysterious figure approaching while he was intoxicated.
That figure was none other than Aoi no Okina himself. This turn of events had begun with an unnamed individual, under whose coercion Aoi no Okina was forced to take drastic measures to retrieve a page of poetry. He knew nothing of this individual's true intentions. All he knew was that the poem had to do with an old acquaintance, Akihito.
Akihito had once belonged to the 5 Kasen. Each poem he composed, he marked with a scarlet red seal, hence the Aka in his name. Such a distinguished writer was he, and yet one of the poems he had submitted the previous year was found to be plagiarized. Akihito was exiled for his crimes, and only 4 of the 5 Kasen remained.
Sumizome went over Akihito's poems and noticed that the plagiarized poem lacked his seal. She immersed his poetry in a stream nearby, and only on the plagiarized poem did the ink run. Aoi no Okina passed by and witnessed Sumizome's doing, which he then recorded in a poem. Thus transpired the events of Suiko's poetry submission, and this is where the story comes to an end.
So good. I love it. Love it. I hope that sounded good for you guys as well. That was good. Soon after, Albedo completes the 2 portraits. There's Ayaka. There's Kazuha. What's wrong?
Yeah. Ever since we completed the story of the 5 Kasen, there's still one thing Paimon hasn't been able to figure out. One of the 5 Kasen is called Kuranushi, right?
Yeah, we don't know anything about them.
It's just that, how could the story of the 5 Kasen finish without him appearing at all?
Oh, have you really not noticed?
Huh? Not noticed what? This is no time to be playing games, Tone Deaf Bard!
What he means is that the story of Kuronushi was already embedded within the 4 poems.
That's fair. That's true.
Huh? Really?
That's right. The key lies in the poem that Aoi no Okina wrote after seeing Sumizome rinsing the poetry collection. An average person could never understand the scene of a young girl washing Akihito's poetry collection in a stream. Even Aoi no Okina couldn't figure out the meaning behind Sumizome's actions. He was simply reminiscing and thinking about his old acquaintances. However, for the perpetrator who framed Akihito, it was completely obvious. He was worried that if this poem was seen by the Shogun, then the Shogun could discover the truth behind the plagiarism incident. If that happened, then he'd be finished.
That's true.
So, in desperation, he threatened Aoi no Okina to make him tear out this poem.
Which means the one who threatened Aoi no Okina is the same person that framed Akihito.
Who is Kuranushi?
What? Kuranushi?
Yeah.
That's right. Though there are only 4 poems, they still managed to tell the complete story of all 5 Kasen. Since the shogun mentioned in the poems is certainly not the one of the 5 Kasen, the only character left is the mysterious one with an unknown identity.
Which Kazuha's looking at the portrait right now.
Okay. Paimon is finally starting to get it now.
However, this also brings something else to mind. The story of the 5 Kasen has more or less reflected everything that's been happening around us lately. Which begs the question, is there a Kuronushi in our world as well?
A Kuronushi? In our world?
I believe that's our ninja friend.
Speaking of which, I wonder if our dear Kazuha has come up with anything.
Oh, right! Kazuha! He's been pretty quiet this whole time. Let's ask him.
I mean, he's looking at the last frame, which doesn't have anything on it.
Hey, Kazuha! Are you okay? You've been standing in front of this blank canvas for a while, and you don't look so good.
I mean, you look like Kazuha.
Apologies for making a wild assumption, but has the story of the 5 Kasen reminded you of anything?
Yes. A few things did come to mind, actually. However, they were nothing more than some past incidents regarding my family.
Okay.
I don't mind sharing the stories, but I'd prefer not to bring you any more trouble.
Listen, Trouble's our middle name, and our last name, and our first name. Trouble, trouble, trouble. Our parents really didn't like us when we were born.
Hey, we're all friends here, Kazuha. You can always tell us whatever's on your mind.
Kaidehara, please forgive my assumption, but perhaps you were thinking of the Raiden Gokuden?
The Raiden Gokuden? What's that?
What is that? Yeah, it's a good question.
It appears that Miss Kamisato and I were thinking of the same thing.
Okay, and what's
But
that?
it also has much to do with the Yashiro Commission. It would be improper to speak of it here without the consent of Miss Kamisato.
Prepare for trouble and make it triple. Trouble, trouble, trouble is my name. Trouble, trouble, trouble is the game.
It's fine. Those of us here are all trustworthy, so there isn't any harm in it.
Does no one realize Venti's the animal Archon, by the way, in this area? Just curious. Venti's just kind of flaunting his stuff. Venti's the animal.
However, this matter is somewhat complicated and may be difficult to explain. Let me start with the Raiden Gokuden. As you all know, the Yashiro Commission's primary purpose is managing ceremonial and cultural affairs, and Inazuma's art of forging swords is a very important part of our culture. The Raiden Gokuden were once the top 5 schools of the forging art in Inazuma.
Okay.
Although these families were swordsmiths by craft, they also held many important positions in the Yashiro Commission.
Well, the Raiden Gokuden was once the top 5 schools of the forging art. That means the 5 Kazen.
Unfortunately, of the 5, only the Aminoma art still maintains its artisan lineage.
Aminoma.
The descendants of the Ishin art are also still alive, but the craft has been lost to time.
Oh, Ishin script. That's from Surumi. Surumi Island has the Ishin script, the language, right? Aminoma art. Don't know who makes that, though.
The descendants of the Ishin art are none other than the Kaidehara family.
Oh, wait. So... But the Kaidehara family, so that means that Kazuha's from Surumi? If it's Ishin script. Okay.
Whoa! We knew Kazuha came from a noble family.
Oh, that's true.
But we had no idea about his connection to the Yashiro Commission and sword making.
Yes, but that's all part of the past now. The Ishin art was lost with my great-grandfather's generation. My grandfather was dissatisfied with my great-grandfather's lack of effort. When he was young, my grandfather traveled all over Tevat to find a way to revive the family business. But it was to no avail. And in my generation, our last remaining family property was lost as well.
I heard my elder brother mention that the decline of the Raiden Gokuden happened very rapidly. In the span of a few decades, 3 of the families suffered various misfortunes and disappeared completely.
Jesus.
Later, there was speculation that all of these misfortunes stemmed from some background machinations, meaning that someone wanted to wipe out the Raiden Gokuden. However, since not every family of the Raiden Gokuden came to ruin, such explanations were treated as nothing more than a conspiracy theory.
But what if the other 2 families had something to gain They could have had something to gain.
Indeed.
That's true. That's the fair.
I've also believed such ideas were just theories and rumors. However, I know that a major incident happened to my great-grandfather when he was young.
What was that incident?
Not only did it affect the Kaedahara clan, but it nearly jeopardized the Kamisato clan's position in the Yashiro Commission as well.
I think Ayato actually alluded to this.
After reading the story of the 5 Kasen, I can't help but feel like it's pointing me toward the truth behind that incident.
What exactly happened to your great-grandfather, Kazuha?
I still can't say. I need to speak with someone to verify the details. Let's meet here again at noon tomorrow. I will tell you everything I know then.
Sounds good. And now it is time for the final one. We'll worry about that stuff later. Wait until the following afternoon. Hello, yes, I've been waiting here for all my life. Hello, yes, I've been waiting here all my life. All my life. I was gonna sing a song that had all my life. That's the song I was thinking, but I couldn't think of the words. Here's our friends. We're gonna have a
You're here. It appears everyone has arrived.
good time and talk about the 5th Kasen. Whoa, the 5th Kasen. Anyway, how'd your investigation go?
Last night, I visited a former servant who once worked for my family. I was able to learn the entirety of what happened all those years ago.
All those years ago when the Kaedahara family came crumbling down. The Kaedahara family, oh, gay went down. This is my song about this event. Congratulations.
In my great-grandfather's generation, the Ishin art was tasked with forging an important Goshinto according to an ancient forging diagram.
Should clip that, cheese, by the way. Just saying.
Though all the craftsmen involved were very experienced, the process was still unsuccessful. Every blade that was forged was defective.
We gotta remember to start clipping a lot more, cheese. So that way we got the good stuff for future things. I can just alter that later.
When the deadline came, the blade still wasn't finished, so the craftsmen all fled and hid for fear of punishment.
Okay.
The Kaedahara clan and Yashiro Commission then conducted an investigation. My great-grandfather and the head of the Kamisato clan eventually tracked down the craftsmen near the seaside.
Okay.
However, they met fierce resistance from the craftsmen, and in the end they were unable to prevent them from escaping by sea. The Kaedahara clan was severely punished for the swordsmiths that had escaped, and the family gradually fell into decline. Moreover, I heard that the head of the Kamisato clan was injured by the fleeing swordsmiths, which combined with his advanced age caused him to pass away shortly thereafter.
Well, that's sad. Thanks, cheese. I appreciate it. But yeah, cheese, I gotta start just hitting the clip button so that way I know when it starts, and then that way I can grab some
Yes.
stuff later.
The sudden passing of the family head left the Kamisato clan leaderless. Treacherous people took advantage of
Hi,
the
Blossy.
situation
How are
and
you?
put the family's status in the Yashiro Commission at jeopardy.
How have you been?
This single incident had profound effects. Even after the position as head of the clan was passed to my father, the Kamisato clan still wasn't able to regain its prior reputation.
I see.
But, thanks to my brother, everything is getting better now.
The failure to forge the blade was ultimately attributed to a lack of required skill and finesse. The Kaedahara clan and the Yashiro Commission always believed that was the case. However, the story of the 5 Kasen seems to imply that the failure didn't stem from a lack of skill, but rather, the diagram had been tampered with by someone. Miss Kamisato, I heard yesterday that the Yashiro Commission has still kept the diagram ever since the failed forging all those years ago.
Okay, that's interesting
Might I
stuff.
ask you to do me a favor?
We need the diagram.
Yes, I understand. I will go back and search for the diagram. Please come meet me at the Kamisato estate later.
Is this all set up by Ayato? I'm starting to realize that maybe the ninja is not Shinobu. Oh, it's all good, Blasi. Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you had a wonderful day yesterday as well. Sorry, I'm also thinking that maybe the ninja could be Ayato's, like, familiar who's just trying to, like, guide us on the right path, right? I don't know. There's so much that could be. I'm hoping it's Shinobu. I really hope it's Shinobu. Because I want to meet Shinobu.
I've managed to find the old diagram.
Even though Shinobu is not, like, is part of Ito's clan, there's still a ninja, from what I understand.
Though the diagram is well preserved, you can still tell that it's seen at least 3 or 4 centuries of history.
Whoa, that's pretty old. Is it still possible to find any evidence of tampering?
At this point, we can only try our luck and see how we fare.
That's true. Immerse the diagram in a basin of water, and after a short while, ancient forging blueprint.
Although the effect is not too obvious, you can still see that some words have now started to smudge. Kazuha, this is clear evidence that this chart was indeed tampered with.
You're good, Jigsaw. You're good.
Someone framed the Kaedehara clan all those years ago.
I see. But I fear that I've discovered this secret too late.
No, you're good, Kazuha. It's not your fault.
When my grandfather was young, he proposed reviving the Ishin art many times to my great-grandfather. But my grandfather was only scolded for being too foolhardy. Yesterday, the former family servant said that my great-grandfather even went to the Yashiro Commission to request that diagram from the head of the Kamisato clan. He then showed that diagram to my grandfather and asked him and his subordinates to try to forge the sword. Sure enough, my grandfather also failed. My great-grandfather then told him, "If you can't find the secret within, then the Ishin art deserves to fade from the world." My grandfather left Inazuma in a rage after hearing those words. He didn't ever see my great-grandfather again, even till the day of his passing.
Dude, Kazuha's super sad
Looking
now.
back at it now, the argument between the two of them was simply meaningless.
Oh, Kazuha.
I heard that your great-grandfather was very industrious when he was young, but later in life, he no longer bothered with the forging arts. It appears that his failure took quite a toll on him.
Kazuha, did your great-grandfather really say, "If you can't find the secret within"? Did he use those exact words?
Yes. The servant said that he personally heard those words, and still remembers them very clearly. My grandfather was so angry at the time that he smashed my great-grandfather's cherished bonsai tree.
Wait.
Yes, it appears that you understand my meaning.
So that's...
Kazuha,
Ooh.
if your great-grandfather thought that the Ishin art lacked finesse, then after witnessing his son's failure, wouldn't he have said something more along the lines of, "Your skills aren't sufficient"?
Oh, no.
But instead he said, "If you can't find the secret within." Don't you find that a little strange?
Huh? Oh, so you're saying my great-grandfather may have very well known that the failure was due to someone's tampering?
Yes. The current evidence suggests that is highly likely.
That's insane. Okay. So, great-grandfather was in on it?
I apologize, but would you all please accompany me to the Tenryou Commission? After I became a wanted criminal, the Tenryou Commission seized my family's last remaining estate, which contained all of my family's old belongings. I want to inquire about the whereabouts of those belongings. If I can find them, we might be able to get some clues.
All right, let's get moving.
Let's go. Let's go. Grabbing all the books. Sorry, we have to steal some stuff. You guys know, stealing is favorite hobby of mine. You know, taking things, that sort of stuff. You know, it's just what happens. It's just what happens. It's Kujo-Sara! Hey, what's up, girl? Our favorite Tengu. Lovely seeing you here. Love your hair.
What are you all doing here? Did something happen on Rito?
No, nothing's happened.
Kujo Sara. Perhaps you still remember me.
Yes, I do. You're Kaedehara Kazuha, a wanted criminal during the Vision Hunt decree. However, your arrest warrant has since been repealed.
Yeah, that we figured that. Kazuha pretty much saved the frickin' entirety of Inazuma.
Sarah, we'd like to ask about the Kaedehara clan's property that was seized by the Tenryo Commission. Do you know where all their belongings are now?
This is once again still more characters altogether. I love it.
Yes, the items seized at that time are currently stored in the warehouse next to the police station. Since Kaedehara has come back to Inazuma, those items should be returned to their rightful owner.
No, I'm afraid you misunderstand. I'm not here to reclaim those belongings. I just want to investigate them for a personal matter.
I see. All right, I'll inform the police station. They'll take you into the warehouse.
This is insane. There are 5 Vision users, Venti, and Volca and a Paimon. This is an insane picture. Sorry.
Kaedehara, about the Vision Hunt decree.
That's all in the past now, Kujo Sara. There's no need to mention it again. I know you've also had your own convictions and struggles. However, may I ask something of you?
Yes? What is it?
Are these two hooking up? Sorry.
Currently, I have no plans to stay in Inazuma. As a result, those items from my family's estate are of no use to me. Madam Kujo, I believe you are a person of integrity. After our investigation is over, I'd like to ask if you can handle those belongings for me. Please, sell them, and use the money to help the poor.
Sorry. I just noticed the coolest detail. I think my webcam kind of blocked it. Which would be unfortunate, but you probably could have seen with her eye. Cool. Sorry. I like little details in games. I like Easter eggs, I like details and all that sort of stuff. And during this scene, when Kazuha was just talking about like selling them to poor, you actually can see, and they don't do this too much in this game, you can see that they've animated Sara's eyes to look down ever so slightly to show that she's thinking about what Kazuha is saying. And it's both of her eyes. You guys could have only seen one of them. It was very slight, but I saw that literally her eyes moved slightly down to the right to look like it's slightly thinking. And I think that's just super cool that that's animated.
All right, I understand. I'll be sure to take care of it.
I love little details like that. It's just, that was so slight, but that was really cool. And they've actually been showing kind of more unique animations for each character when they're talking. Like Albedo actually was having his hands out talking, in a unique stance. So I'm liking this.
You must be here to investigate the Kaedehara clan's belongings. Well, Madame Kujo's already informed me of the situation. Please come this way.
You sound so bored. Please come this way. This is my 9 to 5. I'm almost off the shift.
The Kaedehara clan's belongings are stored in this warehouse. Unfortunately, the items are scattered throughout in order to save space. My deepest apologies.
My deepest apologies. I don't really care.
However, I have clearly marked the corresponding items, so they shouldn't be too difficult to find. I'll be waiting for you at the door. Please come see me if you require any assistance.
Kazuha, since the items are scattered throughout the building, I propose we split up and look for clues.
Yes, sounds like a plan. Thanks for your help, everyone.
All right, my 9 to 5 job is just kind of crazy. It's just all right. Hi, Ayaka. How's it going? How's it going for you?
It's you. I'm currently investigating the sword rack.
Oh, since the Kaedehara clan was a family of renowned swordsmiths, then this blade should be super valuable, right? Maybe it's a treasure of the Ishin art!
Stop thinking about Mora for 2 seconds. This is important.
I'm afraid not. Although the sword rack is made of fine wood, the swords placed here appear to be quite ordinary. Due to the dire financial situation of the late Kaedehara clan, everything of value has probably been sold off already.
Damn.
The blade on the sword hasn't been sharpened, but there are many signs of use on the hilt. Perhaps Kaedehara used it for training as a child.
Let Paimon see! Oh, there seems to be a couple uneven characters etched into the scabbard. Kazuha. Wow, so it really was Kazuha's! Paimon can imagine what Kazuha was like as a kid.
I will continue investigating here and call you if I find anything interesting.
It's interesting, though, that there's this sword there. Alright, what up?
What did you find, Shincho?
I found quite the pile of old books.
Of course you found books. Of course the person with ice and swords found swords. Of course you found books.
These here are all related to smelting steel. And these are about the process of forging blades. This pile over here is all about plants and flowers.
The books about plants and flowers must have belonged to Kazuha's great-grandfather.
Are there any clues?
I skimmed through them just now, but I didn't find anything particularly worth noting. I shall take a closer look and let you know if I find anything.
Sounds good. Thank you. Alright, Venti, did you find alcohol?
There must be some around here somewhere.
What you looking at? This is a lot of sake and alcohol.
Do you see all these pots here? Some of them are bound to have liquor inside,
Of
right?
course. Of course.
Hey! Everyone else is trying hard to help, and you're over here looking for a drink?
What up, Pineapple? How's it going?
I merely jest, of course. Come on, we're close to uncovering the truth now. Why do you look so worried?
Well, Paimon doesn't really get why Kazuha told Sarah to sell all these belongings. What if we don't end up finding anything today? Then wouldn't Kazuha lose the chance of finding out what really happened all those years ago? You know, just saying.
I know you are worried about Kazuha, but if you ask me, he is stronger than you think. Since Kazuha made such a request to Sarah, that indicates he's already made his choice. Whether we find out the truth or not today, or whatever it turns out to be, he's ready to accept it.
Is this your Archon's intuition speaking?
No, not intuition. Rather, I've lived for a long time now, so you could say I have some experience in reading people.
I'm sorry to hear about that, Pineapple. I hope she feels better. Sorry, what I was also gonna say real quick. It just occurred to me. Out of the 3 Archons that we've met so far, only one is actively known to be the Archon. Like, the Raiden Shogun is actively known to be the Electro Archon, but Venti and Jigsaw, fuck, not what I meant. I said Jigsaw's name. Venti and Zhongli are not known. Apparently Jigsaw's the Geo Archon.
Leave the things here to me. You two can look around elsewhere.
My brain don't work. My brain don't work at all. Okay, who's our last person? Our last person is Albedo, so art stuff. You didn't, don't worry about it.
It's you. Unfortunately, I have yet to find anything of value here.
Whoa, this folding screen looks pretty old though.
You need a drunk tone deaf bard? No, you're an old man.
Yes. Perhaps if it were better maintained,
he's obsessed with the
then
past.
it could fetch a decent price. However, I doubt it could be sold in its current condition. I was taking a closer look just now and noticed a large piece of dirt caught in the fabric fibers on the back side.
Interesting.
The soil is deeply embedded into the cloth. That means a great deal of force was used when the dirt was lodged into the cloth. It's likely that this patch of dirt is from the very flower pot thrown by Kazuha's grandfather.
That's an important discovery, isn't it?
Because this is not what we are looking for now. Let me think. If I wanted to leave a message behind, I would probably choose to leave it on something a little more special.
Oh, it's on the sword.
Albedo seems to be thinking pretty hard.
It's on the
We
sword.
better not bother him.
That's where the message is.
I've found something that you should all have a look at.
Or the bonsai
Since
tree.
Kazuha discovered something. Let's go see what he's got.
This flower pot was in my house for a long time. I heard that it was left behind by my great-grandfather.
Yeah, the plants seem to have been dead for a while now.
Well, after my great-grandfather stopped studying the forging arts, he picked up the hobby of keeping bonsai plants. Most of his prized plants were given to others once he became seriously ill. But he specifically left behind this dead plant at the time, and even instructed my grandfather not to throw it away in his will. My grandfather deeply regretted that he never managed to reconcile with my great-grandfather, so he left the plant exactly as it was. But now that I think about it, my great-grandfather could very well have left it behind for other reasons.
Now that you mention it, this flower pot is kinda suspicious.
Yes. Let's take a closer look, shall we?
They find a hidden compartment at the bottom of the flower pot.
We finally found something! It's only a bunch of blank paper.
Paimon, you gotta be smarter than this. Water!
You think someone already discovered the compartment and swapped the contents?
Paimon...
No, I do not think that is the case here. See the paper? It's quite yellowed, which means it's very old.
We need water.
You mean to say that these sheets have been written with special ink, like that which Miss Kamisato found before?
Yes, I agree with this hypothesis.
Okay, let's give it a dunk then.
Oh yeah, Pineapple's Paimon.
There is a pond outside the police station. I'll use the water there.
Isn't that the same when you go with Kazuha to the pond outside the police station? Isn't that where we went last time?
Well, how did it go? Those weren't just plain old sheets of paper, were they?
Just as everyone guessed, after I sprinkled some water onto the paper, writing did indeed begin to appear on it. It is a letter, written by my great-grandfather.
Oh? What does the letter say?
Is this something you can share with us?
It is. I'll tell you what my great-grandfather knew at the time, but before that, I wish to take you somewhere. Everyone, please follow me.
Where are we going? Follow Kazuha to the seaside. Alright, Kazuha, I hope you understand that there are hilly churls out here, so if there is a bloodbath, it is completely your fault. 100%. It is also Pineapple's fault.
Kaedehara, why did you lead us to this beach?
Place related to the Constance Lake?
It is. In fact, my great-grandfather and the head of the Kamisato clan tracked the fleeing swordsmiths to this very location. Our hypothesis was correct. My great-grandfather was well aware of the truth behind the defective blades. And it was right here where they encountered the culprit who framed the Kaedehara clan and the Raiden Gokaden.
Is this going to be where we find the person who's been leaving us the sheets? Is it Shinobu?
It reads, "To whoever reads this letter, I, Kaedehara Yoshinori, have been held to a certain secret throughout my entire life. I don't have much longer in this world, and after much consideration, I've finally decided to disclose the matter. All those years ago, when I was pursuing the swordsmiths alongside Commissioner Kamisato of the Yashiro Commission, I was not injured by one of the fleeing smiths. Rather,
it was night, and after the clues led us down to shore, I waited for the culprits to show themselves. However, there were no swordsmiths in sight, only a single eccentric stranger. This stranger claimed to be the one behind the failed forgings, and said that he had been patiently waiting for us. He then threatened to destroy the Raiden Gokaden.
What up, Scaramouche? How you doing?
That person
Long time no
was an
see.
able body, and in a blink of an eye, myself and the accompanying samurai had been defeated. Commissioner Kamisato was severely wounded, and I barely escaped death myself. My hat had fortunately blunted a blow to my head. The unusual stranger could have easily claimed my life at that moment, but After noticing my appearance, he stopped his attacks and sternly asked if I had any connection with the name Niwa. I answered that it was my father's surname, and after my father disappeared, I was adopted by the Kaedahara family. Upon hearing my answer, the stranger paused. After a long silence, he suddenly said, "Tell her this. My name is Kunikuzushi." He then turned and left.
Is that the same name that Scaramouche used way back when in the Liwa event? I don't remember. It's been a year.
Wow. So that's what really happened.
Yes. My great-grandfather and the head of the Kamisato clan escaped from death and learned that the forging diagram had been tampered with by Kunikuzushi. However, due to the encounter, the head of the Kamisato clan was worried that my great-grandfather would be falsely accused of being involved with the perpetrator.
Yeah. Sorry, the Mondstadt one.
Even on his deathbed, the master of the Kamisato clan cautioned my great-grandfather to never speak of what happened.
Which this particular event happened in Liwa, but it was a Mondstadt event.
Because
yes,
the
correct.
perpetrator said he would destroy the Raiden Gokaden. My great-grandfather worried that the perpetrator would still return for vengeance. So, to protect his loved ones, he closed the family business.
I feel like Scaramouche said a fake name back then. I don't know, it's been a while.
As the leader of the Kaedahara clan, I am deeply ashamed to witness the decline of the Ishin art. But as a father, it is my priority to ensure the safety of my children and grandchildren.
So he was worried about his son's well-being.
Yes, that's right. If my grandpa had somehow discovered the secret behind the tampered diagram all those years ago, perhaps my great-grandfather would have told him the truth. Unfortunately, he failed to catch any of the hints in my great-grandfather's words. Miss Kamisato, it appears you were unaware of the happenings that my great-grandfather described here. What are your thoughts?
I suppose the reason the head of the Kamisato house never spoke of this to the family was due to similar safety concerns.
Yeah, that makes sense. That checks out. That does check out.
If the perpetrator was capable of tampering with even the Shogun's diagrams and could single-handedly defeat many men, then he is not an ordinary enemy.
He's a Fatui!
I will discuss this matter with
Harbinger.
Brother shortly and investigate the identity behind the one called Kunikuzushi. Rest assured, we will act cautiously.
How you feeling, Kazuha?
To be honest, as I read the letter, I felt much turbulence in my heart. But now I've managed to calm myself. My great-grandfather said in the letter that he did not wish his descendants to blindly seek revenge and be deceived by things of the past. Though he was in a tight situation when he wrote these words, I feel like they are still valid nonetheless. I think what's most important for each person is not the past, but the present. Even though we must carry the burdens from the past, there are also things we wish to strive for.
But here's the thing, who's been dropping the pieces of paper?
Therefore, knowing the truth behind what happened is enough for me. I will live on just as my great-grandfather had hoped. That being said, if the enemy from all those years ago is still lurking and plotting to stir up more trouble, then I definitely won't turn a blind eye.
That's Kazuha for you.
These are simply insights I've gathered from all that I've experienced.
It's true. Also, how is Scaramouche this old?
Thank you all for accompanying me in my search for the truth behind that incident.
Great! Now that we're done here, let's head back to Rito.
Can we finally figure out who our mysterious ninja is that's been leaving things? Because I doubt it's Scaramouche. Because Scaramouche is the bad person. Goes to festival, spring work is going well. Finally, the day of the release, the event
Today is the
happens.
final stage of the Iridori Festival. Not only will there be Shincho's signing event, but Albedo's painting of Kuranushi will also be unveiled.
I need to do something real quick.
This world is
Nope.
full of unsolved mysteries.
Hi.
Hello, traveler. Paimon?
Albedo, why is the portrait of Kuranushi all covered up? Paimon wants to see what your Kuranushi portrait looks like.
Don't worry. The unveiling ceremony will be starting shortly. You'll see what it looks like then. I will say that I'm most satisfied with this particular work. I even made a special trip to see someone in order to complete it. They gave me some very valuable suggestions.
That sounds suspicious. Who'd you meet with?
Is that so? Anyway, there is still time before the ceremony. You may have a look around the venue first.
But I want to see your picture. Look for our friends. Are you a drunk bard? Oh, and Yaimiko's here. That's interesting.
Well,
you two
hello,
together?
everyone.
Yaimiko, do you know about Venti?
Hey, what are you two doing together? Don't think we didn't see you two chatting up a storm just now. The moment we came over, you stopped talking.
That's true.
Is that so? I'm afraid you're just overthinking things.
We were merely discussing wine and food. I'm sure you two wouldn't be interested.
Yaimiko, handle this like a champ. Venti dropped all the balls.
Speaking of good sides with sake, I personally prefer fried tofu.
Forget it. Even if those two are plotting something, they'd still never let us know.
That's true. Probably talking about the past, because I think Miko knows that Venti's the Anemo Archon, so it's just nice of them to catch up. Who's up here? Shinjo, let's go.
Traveler, Paimon, it's a pleasure to see you.
How did today's signing go?
Indeed it did. Thanks to you, the signing event went off without a hitch. And I must say, the readers seem most satisfied.
Shinjo, is it just Paimon, or are you on the lookout for something?
You aren't mistaken, though I'm ashamed to admit it. But in fact, I have been on the watch for tourists from Liyue.
In a random crate is when Venti shows up. True.
I came to Inazuma under the pretext of evaluating a potential investment. If an acquaintance were to see me sitting here, then there would be no way to hide the truth from my father. Fortunately, the crowds of readers that came flocking over have kept the usual tourists at bay. Oh, I should mention, Shu is also unaware of the real purpose of my trip. If you happen to meet him, please, remember to keep it a secret.
No, we got you covered.
Then, please accept my thanks in advance. I'm sorry that I can't chat long. There are still readers waiting in line. I'll see you later at the unveiling ceremony for Kuronushi's portrait.
When you get going, no worries. Take it easy, Jigsaw. Have one first day. Also, got to point out the fact that Jincho's table completely covered and set up, right? Meanwhile, the other two artists, not at all. Ayato and Ayaka, let's go.
Ah, greetings, traveler. Paimon.
What up, Ayato?
Oh, Ayato! We finally get to see the busiest person of all.
Yes, there were many things which required my attention these past few days.
Yep,
Fortunately, the Iridori Festival is proceeding smoothly. The Tri-Commission cooperated closely to prepare this festival, so at long last, I can take a break today.
Sorry, have to sign a card.
Brother and I are very grateful for your help.
No problem.
Toma sure is taking his sweet time.
Waiting for Toma Boy?
Yes. Today is one of the rare occasions when Brother isn't busy. I was going to buy some books, but he said he wanted to come along. His treat. However, he forgot his wallet at home, so he asked Toma to go back and fetch it for him.
Paimon didn't think Ayato could ever be forgetful like that.
Listen, when you're super busy, you forget things.
Brother always works diligently, and it's rare for him to ever put his duties to the side and relax.
That's also true.
So, Toma and I really cherish such moments when he's forgetful.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Alright. Who's the last person? Is it Kazuha? It's gotta be Kazuha, right? There's our Kazuha boy. Who I still need to use more in this game.
Kazuha, what are you doing here? Why aren't you at the festival?
I came here to take in the sea breeze. Such a bustling atmosphere is never really to my liking.
Are you really alright though, buddy?
I knew you were still worried about me.
We want to give you a hug.
Thank you. But please, don't worry. The things I said in front of everyone weren't just pretty-sounding excuses.
Yeah, that's rather true.
Look. See this familiar harbor in front of us? Before, you could sit here all day without seeing a single ship pass through. Instead, all you would see were soldiers from the Kanjo Commission, guarding against possible intruders. But now, it's become a bustling place. Not only are foreigners coming to Inazuma again, but traffic between here and Watatsumi Island has also been picking up.
Oh,
yeah.
Kokomi.
Inazuma's already started to change, huh?
I was thinking, in some ways, each and every one of us are similar to this country. It might take a different amount of time for different people, but there will inevitably come a day when each person can let go of their burdens. And when they finally let go, they are free to follow the wind as they please.
It's time for the portraits unveiling ceremony. Let's head over to the Five Kasen Plaza.
I'm excited to see this picture. I wonder who it's of. Who is Kuranushi?
Everyone, welcome to the magnificent Iridori Festival. Today, we have ushered in the final stage of our festival. And now we will reveal the final portrait of the Five Kasen, Kuranushi, which was done by none other than our guest artist from Mondstadt, Calx.
Paimon has no idea what Albedo's portrait looks like. Oh, this is so nerve-wracking.
Let's all count down together. 3, 2, 1. Huh? What's this? This piece depicts nothing but a background. I suppose Calx must have forgotten to include the character. Let's hear some words from Calx himself regarding the creative process behind this piece.
Hello, everyone. First, I would like to say that it was an honor to be invited to create the portraits of the Five Kasen. The Five Kasen are legendary figures from ancient Inazuma, famous for their works of poetry. As time passed, poems were composed about them, and they became the subjects of many stories. I learned from existing sources about those stories that the character of Kuranushi is the deepest and most differing of the Five Kasen. Moreover, Kuranushi lacks a dedicated chapter among the stories. It's as if he is a behind-the-scenes role of the Five Kasen. Perhaps we can assume that every creator had a different understanding of Kuranushi. So, in the same way, I also wanted to leave this character to everyone's own imagination. After all, the Iridori Festival is a place for everyone to express their minds through creative works.
Yep, that's Albedo for ya. His super logical explanation is sure to win everyone's approval. Well, it seems that our adventures at the Iridori Festival have come to a close.
I'm pretty sure you're forgetting something, Paimon.
What are you talking about? Oh, right! We still haven't figured out who left those stories of the Five Kasen for us to find.
But I think we know who might be.
Come on then, who is it? Tell Paimon!
Person, someone that knows every one of us.
Well, that makes sense. Otherwise, there'd be no way to give the right paper to the right person every time.
And they're connected with the Kaidahara clan.
Right. Even though they were using stories to hint us toward Shincho's troubles, the real goal was to lead us to solve the secrets of the Kaidahara clan. Paimon gets it now. Well, at least Paimon thinks she knows. Let's go! We'll get to the bottom of this.
It's not Shinobu, because we never met them. Hi, Ayato.
Ayato! You're the one behind the stories of the Five Kasen! But don't you think you overdid it a little? Leading all your friends on a wild hunt like that?
As it just so happens, one of the reasons I'm here today is to explain the details behind this wild hunt.
I wished it was Shinobu.
Paimon wants to see how you'll explain yourself out of this one.
First of all, the start of this whole incident was due to mere happenstance. You see, Lady Yai happened to catch sight of Xingqiu and the editor carrying the books away one night. She thought it was interesting, so she asked me to tease them a bit.
Huh? So it was Miko after all! Paimon knew it! This thing had Miko written all over it!
Literally and figuratively,
That's
actually.
right.
Yeah.
But using the story of the 5 Kasen to guide you to the Kaedehara family's secrets was my personal touch. As for my roundabout approach, well, that was something which I had no choice but to do. Yes, due to a certain incident that occurred earlier, I happened to notice the bonsai plants left behind by Kaedehara Yoshinori, as well as the blank papers hidden inside. I knew there was more than meets the eye regarding those papers, but it took me some time to figure out the secret behind the ink, the kind that would only appear when exposed to water. What Kaedehara Yoshinori said in the letter is very important for both the Kamisato clan and the descendants of the Kaedehara clan, especially Kazuha. The Kaedehara clan used to be subordinates of the Kamisato clan. It was my ancestors who were unable to protect them all those years ago. So now, this obligation fell on my shoulders. Although he has the right to know the truth, the closer he draws to things hidden out of sight, the closer he also draws to danger. I had to confirm whether Kazuha has both the will and ability to be privy to the truth. Of course, I could outright tell him the truth that I had discovered, but maybe he doesn't have the will that's required. In that case, the truth would only become a burden to him. If he lacks the ability, then he wouldn't be able to find the truth in the first place, in which case, it would be better to keep him away from danger altogether.
Kazuha thrives on danger, though, let's be real.
Yoshinori left his message in a roundabout way precisely for this reason. For a long time, I yearned for a suitable opportunity to convey this matter, right up until the night when a legend of sword was smuggled away.
Oh, Paimon gets it now.
And why was everyone else involved?
Yeah, it wasn't only Kazuha. You brought all of the rest of us into this plan of yours.
Including the Animal Archon.
I figured you would ask this question eventually. I merely saw that this matter would be of value to you. And more importantly, I hoped that while Kazuha and Ayaka were looking for the answers together, they would have some reliable friends by their side. Reliable friends who would be willing to protect them and make measured decisions. Friends who would spare no effort to lend a helping hand in times of trouble.
That's us for you.
Because it is also very likely that you will face the same enemy together in the future.
There's Kuni Kanushi.
You already know the answer deep down inside, don't you?
Yep.
The answer is actually hidden in the portrait of Kuronushi.
Yep.
When there is no one else near the portrait, you can confirm with your own eyes.
Yep.
As for the means of revealing that answer, well, you have used it many times before.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. The true culprit behind it all.
It's getting pretty late, so nobody else is around now. So Ayato must have been telling us to splash water on the portrait, right? It's the Balladeer! So he was the one behind the trouble all those years ago!
When there is no one else near the portrait, you can confirm with your own eyes. As for the means of revealing that answer, well, you have used it many times before. Also, there's one last thing that we must discuss. I mentioned earlier that the occurrence of a certain incident made me notice the bonsai plants. I wish to tell you of that incident now. It was just after the Shogun announced the abolition of the Sakoku decree. I heard that something had happened at the Tenryou Commission. They had discovered signs that someone had entered the warehouse storing the Commission's articles of evidence and confiscated items. But nothing was stolen. I felt something unusual about that incident, so I told Kujo Sara of the Tenryou Commission to treat it as if nothing happened. She was not to increase the guard or relocate the warehouse contents. In the meantime, I sent a member of the Shumatsuban to keep watch over the warehouse. And sure enough, someone was sneaking in and rummaging through the belongings of the Kaidahara clan.
You mean he was also looking for...
I let him search for a while, but in the end, he found nothing. Soon after, he had to leave Inazuma by boat.
Why didn't you send someone to catch him?
The best way to protect a secret is to treat it as if it doesn't exist, is it not? Besides, the identity of this person is not hard to guess. After he left Inazuma, I carefully checked the Kaidahara clan's belongings one by one, and eventually discovered the papers in the hidden compartment of the flower pot. I am certain that the papers are the secret which the infiltrator sought to find, though he couldn't confirm whether this secret existed at all. So, now on to my final question. Which part of Kaidahara Yoshinori's experiences was the secret that needed to be protected?
Kaidahara Yoshinori knew that culprit was named Kunikazuchi?
I don't have an answer to this question at present, so I'll leave it to your future self. As for now, please, enjoy yourselves at the Iridori Festival.
That's the reason this festival exists. It's for none other than to help Kazuha. There it is. Scaramouche. Guys want to see something cool? Because if you hit it with water, he shows up again. And I wish I could be super surprised, but unfortunately, someone on Twitter spoiled that for me. So, fuck that person on Twitter. There's somebody who, like, it keeps showing up on mentions that I think I need to block here relatively soon, who just who spoils, like, everything before it comes out. And for some reason, it keeps showing up in my mentions. I'm like, can you shush? Regardless, this has been a really cool event, but I think it's gearing up towards the what I would say the final boss of Genshin Impact. Oh, hello. Sorry, I realized I had 10. Let's see what we get. 3, 4. Number 5 is a Sucrose. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. It's Diluc. What up, Diluc? Sorry, I realized I had enough.
To survive hard.
Does that max out Diluc? It does! Diluc's now maxed out. I have 2 maxed out 5 stars, because I have Diluc and then I also have Jean.
You must prepare for hardship.
But yeah, no, this I like this event because I think it really is gearing up towards what essentially will be the final battle of Genshin Impact's 2.0. I guess expansion is what you'd call it. The Inazuma arc. There we go. Because the final boss for the final boss for 1.0, you could suffice to say was Tartaglia, right? Like he was essentially the final boss, and then like he was your fake friend the entire time and then became your real friend. But now, you know, we've had 3 twists so far. We were like, oh, Senora is gonna be the final boss. No. Scaramouche is gonna be the final boss. Oh wait, Raiden Shogun still is an issue. Boom, she could be, and then now it's back to Scaramouche. So I think that our Balladeer friend is going to definitely be our final boss that we get to take down. That being said, I'm super excited to it was Storm Terror, then Child, then Probscara. Well, once again, I'm talking about end boss. I'm talking about the end boss. Storm Terror, was kind of like the softball boss of
We're
like
way
the
behind schedule.
first one, right? Like that was just like, here, let me just toss you a softball of like who the boss might be, but here's like your taste to Genshin Impact. Tartaglia was like the final boss. I guess you can also say Azdaha was also that, but Azdaha was specifically regarding Zhongli's story, so you technically don't have to worry about Azdaha. Like Azdaha was a side character. And then you can think that, oh, Senora, like Scaramouche got away and Senora was the final boss for the Inazuma arc. But it sounds like Scaramouche is still around. So now that begs the question, what's gonna happen with Scaramouche? Yeah, those are from different regions, World Quest wise, true. Now here's the thing, we also don't know more about the story of what's going on in Genshin currently. Like, yes, we've seen the event, and like the events are definitely helping with specific things. I'm really sad that like only people who are playing right now get to experience the event, and with how unfortunately terrible the 2.6 update is for a lot of people, a lot of people are probably missing out on this event, which is why I'm glad that I can at least, you know, stream it myself, so that way like at least we have that now on it, well, be on YouTube for forever and ever, so we can always relive those moments, because guess what, Genshin Impact still doesn't have a thing to relive past moments in this game, which makes me very, very sad. So I have to do the We Will Be Reunited quest. Yeah, no, I need to do that too. So we're actually about to end off the stream here in a moment, which I know is like, Kit, what are you talking about? It's like not even 3 hours. You usually stream longer than that. And I know, but I also have work today, and I didn't really talk about it, but I think I talk about it every year, to be fair. Today is, so yesterday was my birthday. I have another family's member's birthday today, hence why I was running errands all day today.
Thank you for coming.
So they want to celebrate before I go to work. That's why I had to really condense the excuse me. That's why I had to really condense the first part of the stream today, and that's why this is also being condensed, but at least we got done what I wanted to get done. That's the thing that I'm actually super excited about, super happy about. So what do we still have left to do if for Genshin wise? Because yes, we're still playing a lot of Genshin and we still have a lot left to do. So let's talk about what's gonna be happening next time when we stream Genshin, which according to my schedule, and I'm trying to do my best to stick to said schedule, we're getting there. Next one is probably gonna be on Friday. Yeah, we're looking at probably Friday for another Genshin Impact stream. For that stream, we are going to be doing the last two quests. What is this? Oh, furnishings still in maintenance? Hilarious. Yeah, we are going to be doing these last two anecdotes, and we are going to be continuing these sort of things. We have April break tomorrow, nice. So I just want to talk about these real fast. We got Gold Fourth, Golden Whirlwind, and the Floral Courtyard. And Theater Mechanicus, the Moon and Stars Inscribed, we did that last time. Theater Mechanicus will not be shown on stream. The reason for it is because I think Theater Mechanicus version 1 was fantastic. Theater Mechanicus 2 screwed it all up. For me, personally, because they had you, if you were to do things, you had to do things insanely specific compared to Theater Mechanicus 1, where you could put whatever you wanted and just enjoy whatever you were doing. Theater Mechanicus 2 now has it super specific, and then for some reason Theater Mechanicus 3, this current version, they have it even more specific, where they're like, oh, we put stuff already for you, but you might want to move them around. Just saying. I don't like it. I tried a little bit of it. I really don't like it. And I'm not gonna go through Theater Mechanicus and fail like 5-6 times before we get a good score. So I'm gonna be doing Theater Mechanicus off stream. That one will be off stream. I'm just gonna look up guides and just do it, because I don't think this iteration of Theater Mechanicus is that good. They basically force you to do certain thing when that removes the fun. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. The first Theater Mechanicus, Cheese, I was there with you. I was like, yo, Theater Mechanicus is actually super dope. You can just mix and match and do whatever you want. It was great. And Theater Mechanicus 2 was like, hey, there's one way to beat these. There's only one way. Maybe 2, but there's pretty much one way. And that sucked, because every guide online always had the same results. And then apparently this is the same. So it sucks, but whatever. Clash of Lone Blades, from what I understand, is a kind of a... It's like the events in the past where you just defeat a bunch of enemies. We will be doing that next stream. So we'll be doing all of the Clash of Lone Blades on those quests. And then the Floral Courtyard is essentially a flower themed one, which is pretty cool. So we'll see that, and that'll be on Friday. Now, does that mean that we'll be done with Genshin after we do the event? No.
Next on the agenda. We're way
I know Doge and I joked about this the other day when we were talking about the survey and all the different things, and how, you know, some people in my community are kind of just done with Genshin. You know, I really do like Genshin. I really do like it a lot. But you know, some people, it's getting to the point where it's so constant and everything that they're like, hey, you want to maybe focus on something else. I get it. Unfortunately, I want to finish as much as I can Genshin-wise. So here's what's going to happen. Next stream on Friday for Genshin Impact. Once again, we're streaming later tonight after work, but for Genshin Impact specifically, we're going to finish the event next stream. Okay, that's everything except for Theater Mechanicus if I haven't done it off stream. All right. However, on the next stream after that, we are going to finally do the hangout events. We'll start with Toma and work our way down. And it's going to be, we essentially do the hangout event with a person. After we get all of the endings, we're going to be focusing on side quests essentially first. I have a list of stuff that I want to get taken care of. So let me just kind of show this off real fast. Real fast before I have to wrap things up, because I got to get going, because I got to go to work, because I have a job again. So Mondstadt. All Mondstadt quests are done. We don't have to worry about anything in Mondstadt. No worries there. Lewa, on the other hand, there are some quests that need to be done. Let's take a look. Hi. Lewa, 42 out of 51 completed. There is a lot left, and a lot of them are now due to the chasm. So we're going to be focusing purely on the chasm afterwards, and not even doing the quest. We're going to be focusing on at least exploring the chasm next. So after, when we do Toma's event, we're doing Toma's event, using up all of our resin as we normally do and whatnot, right? But we are going to explore the outer parts of the chasm, not the inner, the outer. The inner is a whole nother beast. So we're going to look at the outer. We're going to get this last teleport waypoint, this one right up here. A lot of exploring and getting everything that we need to in this area. Okay, straightforward, should not be too difficult, and then we'll go from there. Every stream thereafter will be either if it's not the Abyss quest, it'll be a hangout event to exploration and side quests. And that's going to keep going until we're finally caught up to the point where we don't have to play this game constantly anymore because there's not too much left to do. Achievement wise, I would love to be done with achievements, but it's going to take a long time before we're actually done with achievements in this game. But I'm going to do my best to try to get as many achievements as I can, that I still can. Which means that I need to do something super fast right now. Before I forget, which is grabbing stuff.
This realm is...
So yeah, should be good. Anyway, with that being said, now let's talk about tonight. So, once again, I am going to be off the stream here in a moment just because I got to get going to work because now I have a job and it's training and I just get to sit around doing nothing for long periods of time. However, when I get back from work, at the latest it'll be 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That is the absolute latest we'll start. Otherwise, it's whenever I get back. I've been told that I might be able to leave early because we've been doing things really fast in that training class. So they're like, you guys might actually be able to leave like super early. So what I will do is tonight, I know it says Rune Factory. We're actually flipping today and tomorrow. Okay. So instead of Rune Factory at night, it's actually going to be Pokemon Legends Arceus to make up for Tuesday. And then Thursday is going to be Xenoblade Chronicles to Rune Factory. So should be pretty good, all things considered. That being said, I'm going to wrap things up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream here today. Of course, if you're new, feel free to follow. We do try to stream every single day. But with that, have a wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, or evening. Of course, my name is Katathi. I'll see you guys next time for some more Reddit gaming. See you guys later. Peace. Bye, everybody.